Well, welcome back to Texas Today. If you've got 10 minutes, then we've got everything you need to know to get you out of the door this morning.
Let's get you started with the 6 things you need to know before you go. Number 1, the woman accused of throwing soup at a restaurant employee in Temple is headed to trial. Amanda Martinez was charged with assault causing bodily injury when she was first arrested. She turned down a plea deal from the state on Wednesday. It would have included probation, an $800 fine, and other conditions. Now she'll face a judge and jury where, if convicted, she could face up to a year in jail. Her trial will start on June 27th. Number 2, Colleen police have confirmed the identity of the 52-year-old woman shot and killed on Tuesday. According to KPD officials, Yolanda Ngoja was visiting her son's grave because it was his birthday. He died earlier this year on January 1st. The shooting is still under investigation, and anyone with information could call the Bell County Crime Stoppers. Number 3, the National Weather Service confirmed an EF1 tornado swept through Gerald on Monday. It lasted around 20 minutes, tearing through more than 9 miles of land. The estimated peak wind speeds were 110 miles per hour.
And number 4, Fort Hood police are looking for help finding a runaway teen. According to officials on post, 16-year-old Anthony Edward Caballero left his home on Wednesday without permission and is still missing. He was last seen wearing a gray shirt and ripped jeans. You can call the Fort Hood Military Police with any information. And number 5, Debbie Nash King will be sworn in as the Colleen mayor today. The ceremony will be at City Hall at 4 p.m. Now she's stepping in to fill the role after Mayor Jose Segarra announced his resignation to run for city council. Nash King will serve as the temporary mayor until the May 7th election, which she's running in. And number 6, Waco police are really putting the serve portion of Protect and Serve to work tonight. The department is partnering with Walk On Sports Bistro to raise money for the Special Olympics. Now, officers will be serving customers from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Walk-Ons at Cross Lake Parkway. All donations go towards supporting Special Olympic athletes. And that's a look at your top headlines. Now let's get a check of the first forecast with meteorologist Jordan Darensburg. Hey, Jordan.
Hey there, Jasmine, and hey there, everyone across Central Texas. And it is going to be a really nice day to get out for some lunch or some dinner as well. Starting off a little bit chilly, though, but we are in those upper 40s. This is a live look on our Colleen Bureau weather camera. We're looking at a long Interstate 14 here, and temperatures in those upper 40s. Just that northwesterly wind at around 10 miles an hour here. Now, here you take a look at our temperatures along with our radar, because we do have that area of shower activity that made its way out of the Brazos Valley. It passed through Central Texas earlier this morning, and now it's out of the Brazos Valley, and we're just going to have sunny skies throughout the course of the day as well. When you take your kids to the bus, when you head out for recess, and when you take the kids home from school as well. And speaking of school, shout out to the kids at Cedar Valley Elementary. It was a great time yesterday. I met some wide-eyed students and teachers too. I was very happy to be a part of it, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Thank you so much, Dolphins, for having me this morning. Yesterday morning, I should say. We'll have a little bit more on your forecast with that coming up a little later on in the news. Guys?
Today starts an emergency meeting at the NATO headquarters. President Biden and other world leaders are expected to announce new sanctions for Russia and plans to crack down on other countries helping Russia find a way around those sanctions. Ukraine's president will address the summit by video this afternoon, continuing his plea for more help. Meanwhile, Ukrainian security officials say Russian troops are losing territory around the capital city of Kyiv.
Richard Engel is on the ground in Ukraine with a closer look at what's happening with Russian forces. Richard?
We've heard about Russian troops running out of food and fuel, but according to a new NATO estimate, up to 15,000 Russian troops have been killed so far, and thousands more have been injured or simply walked off the battlefield. I'll have a full story coming up on the Today Show.
The Today Show will also have live coverage from the emergency NATO summit in Brussels. That starts at 7 right after Texas Today.
Now to your morning rush, more news in less time. Madeleine Albright, the first woman to ever serve as U.S. Secretary of State, has died.
In a statement, her family says Albright died yesterday from cancer and was surrounded by family and friends. Albright was Secretary of State under President Bill Clinton from 1997 to 2001. In 2012, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by then President Barack Obama. Albright was 84 years old.
The images from outside New Orleans are heartbreaking. Neighborhoods ripped apart by Tuesday night's tornadoes. At least one person was killed in the storm. The National Weather Service says one of the tornadoes that touched down was at least an EF3 with winds up to 165 miles per hour. Families are grabbing what they can from their homes as crews assess the damage.
And the last day of Senate confirmation hearings kicks off in a few hours for Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson. Now, she could become the first black woman to serve on the high court and would replace retiring Justice Stephen Breyer. Jackson faced sharp criticism yesterday from Republicans for her sentencing record in child porn cases.
One of the most effective deterrents is one that I imposed in every case and that judges across the country impose in every case, which is substantial supervision. Any of these
wait a minute,
defendants.
Judge. You think it is a bigger deterrent to take somebody who's on a computer looking at sexual images of children in the most disgusting way is to supervise their computer habits versus putting them in jail?
No, Senator, I didn't say versus.
That's exactly what you said.
Jackson's sentences were in line with 70% of federal judges. The hearings wrap up today with expert witnesses and character references testifying before the Judiciary Committee. Okay, now to consumer news. The IRS says it has delivered 45 million tax refunds so far this year.
Yeah, that's right. The IRS still has millions of backlogged 2021 returns to finish, and the agency is still hiring workers to help at key processing centers. The average return this year is more than $2,300. It's more than last year's $2,800. Tax filing season will end on April 18th this year.
And new this morning, Uber will temporarily ditch the split fare option next month. A spokesperson says a replacement feature should roll out in the next few months. The change eliminates the ability to split the costs of a ride within the Uber app itself. You can still use Venmo, Cash App, or other services to send money to other passengers. And in health headlines, Moderna plans to ask the FDA for emergency authorization of its COVID vaccine for young children.
The company shared some results for its vaccine for kids 6 months to 5 years old. It says the vaccine is effective and safe, but also warned of mild reactions after the second shot. The Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine for kids younger than 5 is still in the works.
And the CEO at all of the major U.S. airlines, including Delta, American, and United, are asking the Biden administration to end the TSA's mask mandate and the COVID testing requirement for international travelers. In a letter, they say the mandate is no longer aligned with the realities of the current COVID situation. The mask mandate was recently extended to April 18th. No response yet from the Biden administration. Okay, so now to some fun, to the world of sports. The craziest offseason in NFL history just got even more bonkers.
The Kansas City Chiefs have traded wide receiver and 6-time Pro Bowler Tyreek Hill to the Miami Dolphins. The Finns will send back 5 draft picks, a 2022 first, second, and a 4th round pick to go along with a 4th and 6th round pick in 2023. Miami is giving Hill a 4-year, $120 million extension.
And there are just 2 Texas teams left in the big dance, and they both play tonight. Texas Tech will face Duke in the Sweet 16. Tip-off is set for just after 8:30. Houston is the other Texas team still fighting for the championship. Now, they'll take on Arizona after they knocked out TCU. That game starts at 9.
Time right now, 5:39. Going the cheaper route for insurance might not help you down the road, while you might want to buckle up and pay more for full coverage. That's ahead in today's Right on the Money.
And meteorologist Jordan Darensburg will have a look at your full forecast coming up.
All right, another look at your 7-day forecast. And what I am going to show you is that we're going to warm up quite nicely after today. And we're going to get to those low to mid 80s in Central Texas. We'll probably get to those upper 70s in the Brazos Valley before you guys reach those 80s for your Saturday. But no matter how you slice it, it's going to be a very warm weekend. So it's definitely going to be a really nice day to head on out to the pool, because we're going to start to really warm up to those mid 80s. And soon, I think, depending on how the La Nina pattern goes, we could be drier and getting to the 90s sooner this year than we were a year ago. And that's definitely going to be important, because when we're talking about last year, back in September, it wasn't until September when we had our first triple-digit day. It's possible that April, given the current patterns, the way La Nina is shaping up, we could be seeing those temperatures reaching those triple digits possibly during the month of April, maybe even during the month of May, but I don't think it's going to happen this month. But we are watching a system on Wednesday, by the way, that could be giving us a good chance of a few of those thunderstorms, some of which might be strong, but it is still 6 days out. Here's that ridge of high pressure that's bringing us those warm temperatures, and there you're starting to see a closed trough making its way into Central Texas, a very strong upper level low, and that's usually associated with stronger thunderstorms in cold fronts out ahead of it. And so we're going to be continuing to watch this over these next several days for the possibility of that. But we are seeing some rain showers that did push out of Central Texas and the Brazos Valley earlier this morning. And now we just have a northwesterly breeze. It's going to be coming at a pretty good clip, because we are going to be behind a weak frontal boundary that's made its way through Central Texas earlier this morning. We're in those upper 40s currently right now in our downtown tower cam in Temple, but it does feel like those lower 40s when you factor in those west-northwesterly winds. So yes, that body heat's being taken off of us, and it's feeling a little cooler than the air outside, and that's what's called a wind chill for those who don't know. We're mainly hovering around those upper 30s, even in lower 40s in places like Gatesville. Goldthwaite checking in at 37, and at Brownwood, you've dropped to the freezing mark at 32, but your thermometer usually does run a little bit cooler than that though. So yeah, that's basically on them. But anyways, mid to upper 40s to around 50 for the Brazos Valley. Mainly sunny today. the last cool day of the next 7 days. We're going to be getting to those upper 60s, maybe those lower 70s. Tonight, we're not going to be really as chilly tonight because we are going to be seeing those winds shift from a northerly flow to a southerly flow out ahead of that ridge, and that's going to limit some of that radiational cooling, but we're going to still get pretty good radiational cooling because we are going to be clear. As a result of all of this, I'm going to give it a 9 on the Jordan meter for today. Pretty close to 70, which is closer to average for this time of year, which is 72. And we're looking at sunny skies, still a little bit breezy, so I can't really give you a 10, but I wouldn't be shocked if I gave y'all a 10 for tomorrow. Jasmine?
All right, thanks, Jordan. Well, new this morning, it may have seemed like a good way to save money on your car insurance a year or two ago, but now it's backfiring. Jason Wheeler explains in this morning's Right on the Money.
Who wants to buy a car right now? Yeah, this probably isn't going to get any of those hands up either. The average new vehicle now costs almost $46,000. The average used vehicle, almost $30,000. What if you have to buy one, though, because your car gets obliterated by severe weather? That does happen here. Or if your ride is stolen or you total it. That happens a lot here, too. And what if you have to come up with the money for a new or used vehicle all on your own because one of those bad things happened to your car and you didn't have comprehensive or collision coverage? 1 out of 5 drivers only has liability protection. If that's you, there's a good chance that you get nothing if something really bad happens to your car. You do pay less for just liability protection each month, so back when buying another car wasn't ridiculously expensive like it is now, that might have seemed like a decent way to possibly save some money. With car prices so inflated now, though, you might want to consider full coverage. And even if you have all of that protection, you should know, will your insurer do right by you if you have a total loss? The Insurance Information Institute says if your insurance company has to pay you for a total loss, they are required to offer you fair market value. You can negotiate that figure, but the III says that you have to know your car's current market value to do so. They recommend several sites that will estimate how much your car is worth, or they say that you can call your insurance company and just ask them for your current market value so that you at least have an idea. A final note here, the average cost of replacing a vehicle has gone up 12.5% since just last year. So insurance companies have to recoup those costs somewhere, and there are predictions that yes, many of us will see our rates increase. So while you are contacting your insurer and possibly adjusting your coverage anyway, shop the competition. I recommend doing that every year, but it is especially important when the costs of buying and insuring are unusually steep, as they are right now. I've got more resources in today's write-up at Jason Wheeler TV on Facebook and Twitter, where we always ride right on the money.
Well, your time right now is 5:47. It's finally getting the invite. A Best Picture nominee will be walking the red carpet this Sunday. Details next in What's Trending.
You're so golden. You're so golden.
You probably heard your kid singing this, maybe Jordan. Maybe you've hummed it along in the car yourself. Well, get ready for more hits from Harry Styles. The singer is coming out with new music, and he dropped a teaser to get fans excited. The former One Direction member hasn't dropped an album since 2019. He hasn't hinted to any of the songs, but we do know the title is a nod to a Joni Mitchell track from the 70s. Harry's House drops on May 20th, and I'm sure between now and May 20th, maybe a single will drop on the radio and we'll get a little taste for
sure.
what the album is all about.
Oh, for sure. Jordan, you're going to tell us all about it because I think you wanted to sing that sound
Yeah,
bite.
that song, that song's called Golden, and that's my favorite song by him. And by the way, yeah, One Direction, a lot of people, since their split, were kind of sad, but they're really going stir crazy about a lot of the new stuff that they're individually putting out. Like Zayn's put out some good stuff. Niles put out some really good stuff, but I think Harry Styles, the lead vocalist, I think is showing them why he was the lead vocalist for One Direction. I mean, that was tremendous what he's been doing, and I'm glad to hear that he's got a new album out, and I'm excited to see how it goes.
You gonna buy it?
I don't know about buying it. Maybe download it on Spotify.
There we
Okay,
go.
there you go.
Stream it, and he'll get
Yeah.
like 2 cents. All right, moving on. It looks like West Side Story star Rachel Ziegler will end up at the Oscars after all. The 20-year-old actress has now been invited as a presenter. The Academy posted an updated list of presenters, and you can see Rachel's name at the bottom once it comes up on your screen again. She made the headlines earlier this week when she said she hadn't been invited to the show, even though her movie is nominated for 7 awards, including Best Picture. It looks like the folks at the Academy got the hint. Well, sometimes you have to make it a little obvious, you know, for some people to get what you're trying to say. She's one of the leads in there. Other members of the movie were invited. It's a little weird.
Exactly. Very popular film, and like I said earlier, I just don't get it. Like, how could she be not invited to the Academy Awards? Like, it's just crazy to
like
me.
she's a lead actress on a nominee for Best Picture,
Exactly.
yet you don't want her there. Like, that does not make any sense. Oscars, what is this about?
Yeah.
Like, we want to know, but thankfully you got it right. She's only going to be there as a presenter, but she should have been there as part of that cast to begin with, because that's a travesty to me.
Sometimes you gotta make some noise.
Make some noise, make yourself heard. All right. And finally, you know how we always say meteorologists can't wear green on St. Patrick's Day? Jordan really wanted to. He chose
Yeah,
the
I
color
had my
that day.
Kyries. I had the Kyrie 7s though,
Yeah,
so there's
you did.
that.
Well, elementary school is showing us why. The school held a picture day on St. Patrick's Day. Of course, all the students showed up in their best green and then posed in front of a green screen. The parents got the preview photos back this week, and they are all getting a pretty good laugh out of it. The school had a more formal picture day in the fall. Spring picture day was postponed twice, eventually landed on St. Patrick's Day. At least one mom says she wants to buy these prints, though, because they were so funny for her family.
It is fake.
Oh man.
Floating heads, floating arms. You know, I didn't have this problem in school growing up. I actually wore a uniform, and the plaid was a green uniform, and we never keyed out, but because we always just had the white background.
Yeah.
We never had a green screen.
like the white background or like the grayish, whitish something.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, thank goodness I didn't have to wear uniforms growing up. But I will say, at least we didn't have to worry about that green either, because we were wearing different outfits for St. Patrick's Day. But thankfully, St. Patrick's Day and Picture Day were not the same day, because then we would have a good laugh on it. But obviously, meteorologists get serious FOMO on the holiday. But hey, at least I got to wear my weatherman shoes that are green, and y'all couldn't see them on TV, except for that one moment when I put my shoes on the desk. So
Yeah, I didn't like that. But let me say one thing here. Uniforms, wearing uniforms in schools. I loved wearing my uniform in
really?
schools
Wow.
because it made it easy getting up in the
Wow.
morning. You
Wow.
just grab
no.
the same shirt, you grab the same skirt, you put it on. Everyone is dressed like you, so
Yeah.
there's no
I like
judgment
to
there.
show like my style, like you know my
Same.
personality.
Same.
So I would have liked that.
We showed
Yeah.
our personality with our knee highs.
Oh,
That's how we
fun.
showed our fun side with the wild
Oh, nice.
colors
Did
and
y'all
everything.
did y'all have like different sets of that same uniform, or did y'all have to wash it every day?
Oh, no. I had like 12 shirts.
Good.
I had 3 jumpers, 2
Yeah.
skirts, 4
That'd
sweaters.
be a lot of laundry
Yeah,
every
right.
day.
Yeah,
Me
true.
doing that? No, I don't want it done. My mom didn't want to either. All right, stay with us. We'll have a final